Welcome to the Chronicles of Yarnia, the podcast for Montclair's local yarn store.
Make sure you can like and subscribe us down below in the Dweely Bobs. And follow us on Instagram, on Facebook, on Ravelry, on the web, and in our newsletter. So I don't have my script in front of me, so I don't know if that's actually everything, but we'll figure it out.
My name's Amanda.
I'm Jen. And
I'm Kathleen, and this is my special guest, Haley, my daughter, who has been mentioned on the podcast many times.
Yes,
and
my goal.
And is home from school because of the situation that we're all dealing with, the coronavirus.
We'll be doing this a little virtually-ish today.
So I have no idea what episode this is. 20s? I don't know. Maybe 20s. Anyway.
Number. Do you know what number it is?
25.
Yes, very good. I know. I wonder if Jen questions herself. We'll have to find out when we see it, too.
Thankfully, our stay-at-home order doesn't extend to taking a walk around the block, taking the dog out for a walk, certainly not to playing in the backyard, which my kids have been doing a lot of, but it did shut down most of the events around town, including a lot of the things we talked about, like the Montclair Literary Festival that was supposed to come up now. And
so we had talked before about Wool Walk, and Wool Walk was scheduled for the first weekend in April, and of course it's been postponed, and the Wool Walk team has not yet picked a date for that. We will do that when the time is right. Maybe not as soon as we like, but when the time is right, we will figure out when to get that back on the calendar for everybody, so that folks can visit as many yarn shops in New Jersey as they can over a 4-day period.
So yeah, I'm trying to think what's going on. I don't know. It's weird to talk to myself. It's weird not to have the interaction. I hope everybody is doing okay. I hope everybody is staying safe. I am alternating between we got this and moments of panic attacks and freaking out. So I'm pretty sure that's kind of what everybody's doing. But in the meantime, do some knitting, do some crochet, take care of yourselves, take care of others.
Let's see. So I guess instead of around town, most of us are connecting online these days. So maybe what are we looking at online? For me, most of what I'm doing is kids' schoolwork. I've got big kids in high school, and they're taking care of themselves. Their school, they go to Montclair High, and their school teachers have classes every day. Some send videos for the kids to watch. Some have Zoom classes. Some have assignments and reading and things like that they're doing while they're not in class. And the big kids seem to be, working on it pretty well. I also have a second grader and a kindergartner, so of course those guys aren't going to be getting, hey, read chapters 1 through 12 and answer all these questions. That's not like the level they're at. They need a lot more work. So at our house, I've been teaching kids from 8 in the morning until noon. They do have like one Zoom class a day with their teacher. But really, I think their most effective learning is probably with me, going over some assignments and really going more in depth in the things I can see them struggling with. One resource I found super helpful is a website called Teachers Pay Teachers that have all sorts of worksheets you can print out for your kids. So if you see they're like struggling in a certain area, you can print out a worksheet for them. So I've been doing that. Abby did a worksheet on direct objects yesterday, and I think finally gets the concept. So yay, thank you. I'll put a link to that down below. So you might find it helpful too, because in school, all of our kids learn at the pace of the class, I guess. The class has to go at a certain pace, but when they're at home, it's a good opportunity for us to see where they're stronger and where they're weaker, and maybe reinforce the things that are weaker. So
what else? Do I have any finished objects? I do not, because this should be my finished object, and it's not. In the meantime, I have a lot of things I was looking at for the queue, and I'm wearing my Soldotna, which is, I don't know if you can see, my Soldotna in a linen dress with pockets, because I like that. This is Knitted Wits, Madtosh, Manos Allegria. I don't know. My details are in there. This is the wool Soldotna because it's 64 today. It's nice out. But I still wanted to wear a sweater. I've been getting dressed, which is good. But it's been in my like PJ like clothes, which is fine. Honestly, I mean, this is my day-to-day outfit in the summer anyway. Who am I kidding?
So, Haley, would you like to talk? So, actually, I was going to say, I have no finished objects. This is a Nightshift that I have shown before, and it inspired one of the whips I'm going to show you. That's why I'm wearing it, but I'm not going to talk about it at length because I've already shown it on the podcast. But Haley, as our first time guest, would you like to talk about some of your finished objects?
Yes. So, I wish I had more wearables, as they say, because like I want to have like a completely handmade wardrobe.
Mm-hmm.
But you see, the thing is, what I'm wearing today
is so cute.
Is a kind of like tank top, kind of bralette type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think Fairy Garden.
It's knitted
knitted wit, yes, and it's like, we'll link the pattern as always,
mm-hmm.
but
it's crocheted.
It's crocheted. I crochet mostly. And it has like a ribbed
mm-hmm.
section, so it's a little stretchier. And then this is
but
just
it's hugging.
Single.
It hugs to your body. Yeah.
Single. And when I first made it, it was a little tight, but I guess it's kind of it fits better now. So
mm-hmm. It loosened up a little over time. Mm-hmm.
Here we are. And
that's great.
So that's my like main crocheted wearing item.
Mm-hmm.
And so other than like sweaters, which is like my next project that I would like to do, which I've been like looking for a pattern that is like easy enough, but like I'll wear it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I crocheted starting in like 2012, I want to say, maybe a little earlier, but like that's when I actually really got into it.
Mm-hmm.
And I mostly started making amigurumis, which are, if you don't know, kind of just like stuffed animals that are crocheted. You can see some of my mom's back here. They're
Alexander, Hamilton, and Angelica.
So it's just you can make dolls, but you can make
little critters, basically.
Yeah, just like any animals, that type of thing. And
and they can be knitted or crocheted amigurumi, but usually
like,
I think most often they're crocheted.
But crafty people do their thing. So.
Well, like all we should show our little chickens.
Oh, like the little
the mochi mochi, which is I also think of them as amigurumi.
Like Anna, I don't know how to pronounce her last name.
Rachevek.
Okay, yes.
I think. I'm pretty sure.
We met her at Vogue Knitting Live last year.
Yeah.
That was
in 2019.
A moment. I was not expecting that. So here's...
And London K. You met London K.
Yes, I did.
All the crochet idols.
So this is one of my, I want to say most recent, but it's like a year ago. I think I probably saw this on an Instagram post. And it looked a lot smaller in the picture. I was not expecting it to turn out this big, but it's really cute, and I feel like you can make it for like a little kid to make like a pillow or something. It kind of looks like, it actually really looks like those the like nightlight ones. Sometimes you see. Yes.
I love the way this is made with the paws are like they look like dumplings kind of. They're like perfect
like tacos or like empanadas.
That's what they're. It's the empanada turtle.
So this is one of my most like recently finished objects. Just to see.
Yeah, well, because last year, senior year, you didn't have a whole lot of time for amigurumi. And this year, being in college, you haven't done. I haven't.
I brought yarn, but doing things.
Well, you made some pillows and things, right? You did some.
In the beginning, I made like a little rug for my room and like a little pillow. But that was like in the beginning when there was time. So then I have a couple older ones that I'm proud of. So this is I actually started my first crochet Amigurumi was this designer, Fresh Stitches, and she doesn't design patterns anymore, at least not as like her main job.
Thing.
But I do still follow her on Instagram, and so her style, which is kind of different from most traditional amigurumis, which you can see, it's the ridges are caused by just crocheting through the back loop of the stitch, and it does make it looser. And this is how I learned to crochet amigurumi, so it
for you
was
it feels more normal. It feels like the standard.
Well, not now, because now I do just
both loops usually.
Both loops it's a tighter fabric, so it's not as stretchy, which is better for
and it's
like
easier to stuff
things.
And it's easier to stuff well without having. It was
like an adjustment, like looking at other patterns and realizing that it changes the. I guess you could the gauge.
Well, just the thickness of the fabric, or the density of the fabric.
So like an example, I don't have it, but we might be able to find a picture. I made one. It was called just a cute, like it was just kind of like a log with like ears. For my cousin.
Yes, I remember
that. And again, it looked so small in the picture, and it was like a foot long when it was done. But I think she liked it.
She really liked it. Yeah, she was very happy you made it for her.
So this is another one that I'm proud of. This was like her logo.
That was her. Yeah. We got project bags with that logo on it, remember? Yeah, I don't even know where mine is. It's somewhere. So then this is another, it's a Pokemon actually. Yes.
But I did it as a test for another designer that I really liked, but she's not that active anymore.
But what's her name again? Do you remember?
I think it's the Nerdy Knitter.
Yes, I think so. Which is funny because she was mainly a crochet designer, or is mainly a crochet designer.
Yeah, as far as I know.
But very into like, Pokemon and all the different fandoms.
Yeah,
so she did a lot of fandom inspired things.
This is a test I did for her, like back in the day, back in the mid 2010s, old decade.
When you were, that's right. And so there's this like 10-year-old doing pattern testing and like writing on Ravelry to designers, and finally she's like, oh yeah, well I'm in 4th grade or something.
Yeah, no, they were like, why are you so behind on the time? I'm like, I'm really sorry, I don't know what time management means. Never done that before.
Well, you do now, but
do I?
You do. You're good.
So that's like a taste of like my
finished
repertoire, gotta say.
Yeah, very nice.
I have one finished object, but I've made a ton of progress on some other ones, so more in whips. But my one finished object this week, good timing, was I finished my Luminary Socks by Helen Stewart, which is the first sock in the Handmade Sock Society. Ta-da. Here, I'm using a different lens today. This is my 28mm fixed lens on my camera, and I'm sitting a lot closer than we do at the store, so that means I can actually show you things instead of taking a picture up close. So yay! Here's my Luminary Socks. You can see the detail and the yarn really well. There we go. Yeah, so it starts off up here. There's a twisted hem, and then there's like some little tuck stitches here, and it's not a cable, it's a little faux cable here, and then on the back it's just a plain back and some slip stitch heel, which I love. I love these slip stitch heels. I also like Eye of Partridge heel, which is a variation on slip stitch, but this lens does have issues autofocusing though. Oh well. But so, pardon the autofocus, but anyway. I also like Eye of Partridge heel, which is a little bit like a slip stitch heel, but instead of having columns of slip stitches, they're offset one, like it's a checkerboard pattern of where your slip stitches are. But I always have trouble remembering which row I'm on the checkerboard, so yeah, it just takes more mental work when it's not the same pattern in every row. So I really like these. I guess probably after maybe here, after the 2nd or 3rd repeat of this pattern here, I was able to memorize it and then just, conference call knitting, that type of thing, which I suspect a lot of other folks have gotten conference call knitting done these past 2 weeks. You're joining my bandwagon. And it does make your projects go a lot faster. So maybe a little bonus of more conference calls is you get some knit time. This is so yay! This is a great pattern. Like I said, first sock in Helen Stewart's Handmade Sock Society. I think I'm going to stick to 3 yarns in this club. There's going to be 6 patterns that come out this year. This was the first one. The second one came out just Thursday, I want to say. Or no, it must have been like Tuesday of this week. But and I'll show you that one in a minute because I'm like 15% done with the first sock, so like down to here, maybe more than 15%, maybe 20% done with the first sock on the second pattern. But since we opened Yarnia almost 3 years ago, 2.5 years ago, I've used almost all of our sock yarns for socks, and I found out I really like 3 of them the best. This is Madeline Tosh sock, right? It's 100% wool sock yarn, very round and tightly plied. And I talked about this last time I brought my other Tosh sock that I have that has like 0 pilling after almost 3 years of throwing in the wash with all of our other clothes. So I love this one. It's also on the heavier side of fingering. So that's Luminary. I'll tell you what the next one is this is Ancient Arts Socknado, which is I want to say there's 15% nylon in Socknado. But it is also a very, it's a plump sock yarn. Maybe not as tightly plied as Mad Tosh sock, but since it's a little bit thicker than a normal sock yarn, I feel like instead of 400 yards in there, that's like 370 and 100 grams, almost a sport. But if you knit it the same gauge as you do regular fingering, well, it is regular fingering. I mean, to me, it's regular fingering. I use it in fingering weight patterns. But if you knit it at that gauge, right, it creates a nice dense fabric that also is very pill resistant and, lets patterns really shine. So that's the second one. The third one that I love is Knitted Wit Sock. Now they call it Knitted Wit Sock. When we first opened, it was Knitted Wit Victory Sock, but they dropped the Victory in both their sock and DK. But again, nice round plump sock yarn. That is also a wool 15% poly blend. But I love all 3 of those. So I think those 3, there's 6 socks. I think I'm gonna have 2 of each yarn as my set for the year. But this is the Ambient Sock. This is the second sock in the Handmade Sock Society, and I'm knitting it in Socknado. And this one, since we're all on quarantine, but I mean, it actually gave me a chance to really think about what I had in my stash, and I had some leftovers from our Kickstarter when we did Chanel Wu's, Piper Nell's patterned Montclair flare, and we had some colors custom dyed for Montclair. This is our Nishwain and Edgemont color, which I sent some pictures of Montclair of our parks to Ancient Arts, and they special dyed this color to really look like our parks in town, which I thought was particularly nice given that we're not allowed to go to our parks. At least I get to knit them. But so this is the second sock, and I'll show you what I've got done so far. So you can see it's like, again, a twisted rib on the top. If you don't like twisted rib, you could always sub a regular rib. And then it's like a nice little lacy pattern on this side. This is the front side, and you get a little, like some lacy ridges patterned. And then on the back is a texture, like a nice soft texture. And she made this pattern to actually show off a variegated yarn, but I think it looks very nice in a semi-solid tonal as well. And it has a contrasting heel and toe, not a cuff. It has a contrasting heel and toe. And so I'm actually throwing in, because I did this with another sock, right? This is one of the Knitted Wet gumballs. This is in the Prussian blue color, which I thought this deep navy, there actually, now that I'm knitting with it, there is some like blues and navy. There's definitely some navy in here. Whenever she dyed it, she must have used, now I forget. Sorry. But she definitely used some blue in this, and I think this blue like complements it really nicely. It won't be like clashy or loud. It'll be nice soft heel, right? But enough contrast that you can definitely see. I was thinking of getting an emerald green, but there wasn't enough contrast, and I think this makes a lot more sense. So that is my ambient sock. I'm really enjoying that, like I said, on Ancient Art Socknado. And then, hey, I have my knitted bit in there too. Although this is a gumball, this is their 100% superwash merino. That's a little bit different than their sock yarn, which does have 15% nylon. But very similar ply. And works great for heels, toes, and cuffs. Like I said last time, one gumball will do heel, toes, and cuffs in one sock. So I have 2 of those gumballs to do the heels and toes, and I'll have a little bit left over after that. Okay, so that's my Helen Stewart.
Okay, so I have a finished object that kind of like
that's going to become a whip.
So I really, along with really wanting to make a crochet sweater, I really want to make crochet socks. Like I really want to find a good pattern, really bad. Because I have a lot of fingering yarn and it's usually like one skein, so it's not enough for a sweater or something bigger. So I want to be able to make socks.
And especially for crochet, because crochet does use a little bit more yarn than, it's generally about 30% more yarn than the same object if it were knitted.
Which is frustrating.
Which is a lot. It's significant. It's something you have to take into account. So
I did try making socks one time, and
I love the way that pooled. Look at that.
Exactly.
That's
so the
cool.
pooling on this is really cool, and it actually fits really well. It looks really loose, and I don't think I have big feet, but it pooled really cool, and it was the first successful crochet sock because I've done other things, and it just
I remember you kept ripping them out.
I have one right there, and it's not going to be finished. So then this is the second sock, and it is so much bigger. And so I don't know if you can really tell. It's just, but you can tell in the difference of the pooling because it's more like every other row.
Oh yeah, look at it. It's so different looking.
That's
it really
how
is.
I knew I messed up. Because you can see the difference in the pooling.
Yes.
Because this one I was like, oh, I know the pattern, like I got this, so I didn't really, my tension was completely different even though I made them at the same time.
Because you weren't going slowly and really kind of deliberately doing your stitches.
I was like, I got this, and it is literally double the size. So I can't wear them. I haven't worn them.
Well, but maybe you can just rip out the second one and I would at least try that.
That's like, it's gonna be a whip. Wasn't able to wear it.
Yeah. So finished object transitioning to whip. And actually, my favorite thing, this is something I asked Haley to show.
This is actually more of a transition because it still could be technically in progress.
That's true.
So,
that's true.
Here's another thing I started a long time ago. Ripped it out, but it looks better now, so it's okay. So this is my scrap blanket, and I started it. I'll show you the beginning here. Let's see if we can hold it.
Oh yeah, we'll have to try to do a picture on the table on the back porch.
This is the beginning end here, and it's only like an 11 stitch chevron, but it got wonky, and the edges now they look straight. They're not, but it's fine. So
it's a cozy blanket.
It's about a twin size, and the fun thing about this is that I've been using it, like I brought it to school and I was just using it when I was like in my room, but I don't tie off the end of where I was last working, so I can just... You
can always attach more yarn and keep going.
More, so that's what I really like about it.
And where did you find the fun fur? I love the fun fur thrown in there.
It's
a very sort of Stephen West touch.
Of things I've used or... just like things that I guess you have given me.
If I have stuff with her. And actually... Haley is also a member of the Montclair Knitting Circle, and they often get yarn donations, and I think you've gotten some things from them
but
as well.
I don't, like, this is kind of the longest section.
Yeah.
That, like, I don't have rules, but I have, like, guidelines.
There you go.
So I don't like sections that are too big because then it
Yeah.
doesn't feel like a scrap blanket.
I think I'm gonna redo my scrap blanket and make it do the chevron.
You were like, I'm gonna do a scrap blanket, and then you bought yarn for
I know that was kind of defeated the purpose of a scrap blanket. But when Haley was really going on hers, I was like, oh, I would love to do something where I don't kind of plan the colors too much and everything. But I couldn't do it. I had to go buy yarn.
I had to plan
At Yarnia, of course. All right, so that is it for finished objects, and we'll be back shortly to talk to you about whips.
Okay, next I'll tell you about what has been really my main conference call, knitting, which is my Damejakka Loppa, which last time you saw it, I had finished the yoke. Yeah, the yoke. This is Damejakka Loppa by Pinneguri, right? And it has this gorgeous yoke. I'll give you a close-up because I can, right? It has this gorgeous yoke in, I want to say 6 colors. Ugh. Kids. I want to say 6 colors, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 6 colors of Phenol Garden PT2. That's what I'm using for it. We have a lot of colors, and we reordered so we have enough to do body colors. And I was a little bit concerned, I will say, like after I finished the yoke, I was a little bit worried that it was too loud and it wasn't going to be like something that I normally wear. And then I started the body, and this gray just tones it down, and I think it's just perfect now. I love it. So this is the body, and I just finished all the fleas on the body, and I'm doing a few rounds of flat stockinette in this blue before I start 2.5 inches of ribbing in blue. And then I'll be done with the body. Yay! Or at least done with the main part of the body, right? Because then I'll have to, this is this seam thing you see running here. That's the steek panel. And on either side of the steek panel I have, oh, I just dropped a stitch marker. Oh well. I've got these rows of, these columns of purl stitches, and that's where you pick up and knit your button bands. It's a nice guidepost. I'm putting stitches back on a needle. So yeah, I'll pick up on either side of these stick stitches and add my button bands. If you saw me on our knit night, because we are having virtual knit nights on Wednesday evenings and Sunday afternoons, I was debating because this pattern does have some waist shaping, so from the arm there's some decreases in the pattern, right, that go in for waist shaping, and then it says to go out again. I went in, and then I think I still have positive ease in the garment, not too much, but enough that I don't need to go back out for my hips. I tried it on a few times, put on a longer cord. So I'm not gonna extend it more. I mean, I'm not gonna go back out again, or I didn't go back out again because obviously now I'm on the button band. And I think the ribbing on the button band will bring it in enough that it stays like trim on my hips, but it's not gonna be like too much ease or too little ease, so where it's like clingy in the definitely wrong places. Right around my hips is not where I need something clingy anyway. So yeah, so that's Damejakka Loppa. When I see you next time, I'll definitely have the body done, the button band, or not the button bands, but definitely the bound off here. May have a button band picked up. We'll see. I figure once I pick it up, then I can do that on calls, but picking it up is going to take some focus work. So that might be a little bit of a roadblock in the road to finishing it.
Ironically, even though we've had a lot of time to kind of hole up at home and work on projects, I have not gotten a lot done because I have 2 children who are of school age and who are doing distance learning. And while the 5th grader is very independent, the kindergartner is a kindergartner and he's 6. So there's a lot of me holding his hand, literally and figuratively, and there's also a lot of yelling on my part. I'm not a good kindergarten teacher, at all in any way, shape, or form. So there's been some de-stressing on my part, but I have been de-stressing with Animal Crossing New Horizons, which is a fantastic game on the Switch. It's very sweet. It's very mellow. So I've been doing that, and I've been working on one of my projects, but not any of the other ones that are waiting on me. So what I have is, I have it behind me. I am still working on the Felix Pullover that I totally copied Amanda. It's in Lucky Tweed. It is literally the same color as my couch. Apparently I'm doing home camouflage, so I don't know how well you guys are going to be able to see this. But I'm on the second sleeve. Can you see the lace there? I hope you can. This blue line is the where I put the sleeve stitches on hold. So I put the sleeve stitches on hold, and then I pick up the stitches down. And that way I can measure and see how long I want it. And also, if I end up screwing anything up, I can just rip it out and none's the wiser. I don't lose any of my held stitches. So I'm really happy with it. Here's how one sleeve is going. Again, it blends in with the background. It really is the exact same color as my couch. Clearly, I have a color palette. I also put a little bit, I don't know if you can see this here. I put a little bit of contrasting color on the back neck so I can remember where the back neck is. But yeah, I also have, I don't know if you can see here, I had a little bit of a lifeline here going down because I wasn't sure how long I wanted to make it. And I wasn't sure if I wanted it cropped or slightly cropped or not cropped at all. So just in case, I figured I would throw in a lifeline. I would work to where I think I want it to be. And then if I need to unpick the Kitchener tubular bind off, which I really don't want to do because that's a pain in the neck. If I have to unpick it, I can. So then I don't have to worry about putting the stitches back on the needle. So I'm second sleeve and I'm done. And of course, this is where I get distracted by shiny things like the Switch.
Okay, this is a project that has not gotten much love this week, but I did get a good chunk done. I'd say like the first couple days we were in quarantine, or not quarantine. We were told to stay home, right? Socially distancing. I am making my second Comfort Fade Cardi because we got our shipment of Spun Right Round in, which is just deliciously awesome. And I'm making a Comfort Fade Cardi. So I just have this much done. And this is in the Quake color. So let me show you my fade, which is probably the more interesting thing at this point. Just kidding, that wasn't Quake, that's Reaper's Rags. So this first one that I start with, that's Reaper's Rags. And then I add Quake. And then Hard Eyes. And then Pigeon is the last one. So that's my fade. Here, I'll show them all together. Whoop. Yay. Well, there we go. Yay. So I saw Andrea Mowry's Comfort Fade Cardi at TNNA last summer, and I loved in this exact fade, and I loved it so much. It was the prettiest, most like seamless transition fade of like any I've seen, because they do tend to, it tends to look a little stripy. That's just the way fades often look, and it's not a problem. I don't mind it. I have my Comfort Fade Cardi that I wear all the time out of the Ba Sequoia. I love it so much too, and it is one of my sweaters that fits me the very best. My cardigans that fits me best. I love it, and that's why I'm doing this one. I am modifying it because why not? The back of the cardigan is all reverse stockinette, but I'm taking the, oh, I don't have my pom-pom with me, which is fine. I posted a picture of it on Instagram, but I'm taking the front panel of the Nightingale sweater by somebody. somebody who does cables awesome, and I forget, I'll put it in here. I'll put it here. No, here. And the front panel of the Nightingale sweater, and that's a bottom-up sweater. So I turned the picture of it upside down to see if I liked the way the cable looked upside down, because this is a top-down cardigan, and if I'm putting that cable on the back, then, and it's, I don't want to read a cable chart in reverse, like from the top down to the bottom up like you're supposed to, then it's going to turn out upside down. So that's what I did, and it looks great. So I've already started putting that cable onto this sweater, and that's why mine, this is the front of mine. That's why mine on the back isn't just reverse stockinette. It has all these ribs that are going to turn into like a magnificent cable. Yay. So this, I hope we'll see more progress, but honestly it takes me a lot of brain time, and I don't know about you, but my brain has not had the capacity most days to handle this right now, but I think it will. I think the more, as we go, I'm presuming this is going to be our normal for a little bit, and I figure as we go it'll be more normal-ish, and I'll have the brain space to work some more rows and get a better rhythm on that sweater, which is fine.
So, as I mentioned earlier, this is my Nightshift. I made it in Nora's Silk Garden. This is the original one I made, I guess, in the fall. And I did something that was a little different from the way a lot of people do it. I picked one color of Silk Garden as the background, and I just kept using it again and again and again. And I thought I used 3. I think now that I'm working on my second one, I may have actually used 4, because my second one is about the same size as this.
And you said you wanted to make it bigger.
And I wanted to make it bigger, and we don't have any more of the yarn that I'm using for the background. So I'm just going to go till I run out of yarn. So for this one, I'm also doing something a little different, and this is inspired by our customer and my friend Karen, who is
one
doing...
Of the Karen bees, we have 2.
Yes. Who's doing her Nightshift in Nora's Silk Garden. The mushroom colorway is the background, and then she picked, and we picked, different skeins that we liked, to use as the foreground. So I really, just like I did with my first Nightshift, I don't love things to be completely random. That one was much more, no, not about the random. My daughter can tell you, not about the random. So it's got kind of a really consistent palette. Definitely my colors. I picked a lot of things in the orange family, some turquoise, some teal. And I have the details on all the colors that I used in my Ravelry project for this. So we will.
Is it a different skein, like for the different transition? It's not like the same color?
For the first 4, you do what I call single dots and double dots. So for the first 4 sections, 1, 2, 3, 4, that was those were different balls of yarn for each section. And then I think at the end of that, I just kept going with the 4th color for a while.
Because like once the rows get longer, the color changes like the same way you would if you were changing.
Exactly. So I just kind of did them as long as I felt like, and then I switched to another color. So it's not, I'm using different amounts of different ones. And the way Nora works too, it's like every skein is a little bit different. Even if you buy the same.
So well for this pattern.
Yeah, exactly. Even if you buy the same color, your ball is, if you buy multiples of the same color, they're not going to be exactly the same. You don't even necessarily get the same range of colors in each ball. So that is whip number 1. Whip number 2 is, and that is the main thing I've been working on. I'm really close to done. I'm going to finish that in the next couple of days.
Every night as we work. As we watch TV.
Whip number 2 is my Magnolia chunky pullover.
Oh, that's so pretty.
Thank you. This is, because I worked on it for like 2 days.
Let me guess. I want to say matte
Spun right round.
Okay, I haven't seen it yet. So that's...
Yeah, it's so pretty. So, and actually we have more of this on order. This color is called Treasured. It was
really pretty. So
popular when it came in that Seisha and I both wanted to go for it, and then another customer saw it on the table and was like, "Oh no, what about that?" So we do have more on order.
Oh, is this Are you gonna steek it?
No, I'm not gonna steek. I'm just gonna make it as a pullover. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the way
I'm a fan of pullovers. I don't like cardigans.
Mm-hmm. See, I do like cardigans a lot, but I just felt like I already had this as a cardigan, and I just wanted it as a pullover. I think partly inspired by Jen and Amanda's Felix pullovers too. So I'm playing with this pattern a little bit because the Magnolia, even though this is a DK, it's knitted a loose gauge, and I was getting gauge with this yarn. So it'll be interesting. Nice. I'll talk more about it when I finish it, about exactly what I did with it. And actually, I just realized I did not bring my Willow Moon with me. And Seisha, our friend and colleague who works in the store, we were so happy that she was in the Mason-Dixon March Madness.
And she made it
to the second round. It was a really competitive category. The shoulders and neck. Yeah, right. And I think that category more than any other, I went through and put so many in my queue. And I am already working on the Willow Moon, and once I finish my second night shift, I will be getting back to that as well. And then the third thing that is not quite a whip yet, but will be very soon, which kind of goes with our crochet theme, is the little elephant from the Toft kits. So I'm dying to make this, and we just really restocked cute. Toft as well. So when we did, I'm like, all right, I'm not taking the last elephant anymore. I'm going to go ahead and take it home. So I did. So, and what do you have in progress, Haley?
Well, the main thing I've been working on, which is why I don't really have anything wearable, I've been making a lot of cat mats from, donated yarn from acrylic yarn, so it's not really, a store thing, but it's been taking up a lot of my time. I made,
Well, and they're a good, de-stress project, right? You so do simple. It when you watch television.
Literally just, and also this is inspired by Barbara, who's in the Knitting Circle. Thank you, Barbara, for the idea, because I saw some that she made.
Yes,
and then
she made them for her cats.
She made, exactly. And I think she's probably donated some. So I made, 40, I think.
Last year.
Donated them at the beginning of the summer, at the end of the school year.
Yeah, it was last June or something.
It was definitely during senior option, and because my friend, was
working at the animal shelter. Yeah.
And so I just, since your friends are oh, my friend's grandma used to knit and she doesn't anymore, so here's some yarn, that's mostly what this is from, and it's literally just a crochet increase circle, and that's it. It's literally just 6 increases, and you just keep going.
And when you first made them, you made them about a foot wide, right? And I think the animal shelter said they wanted them a little bit bigger.
So now I just kind of keep going, and I think I probably have 20 now.
20 more batch, you can donate.
And I won't donate them until crisis is over. But so that's what I spend a lot of my time doing, just because they're really easy and you don't have to think about it at all. But this is a project that I started at the end of the summer. That I started last summer, and it's going to be a tank top, and it was actually inspired by I started the pattern from a baby tank top, but I was I could just keep going. So it's a semicircle, but it's going to be a tank top, and it still needs the straps, but it's just kind of an open back, and
it comes and wraps around,
And
cute.
This yarn is Apple Tree, and I was waiting for the perfect project for this, because I wanted to show off the yarn and not have something super complicated. And I wish I liked shawls, because that is a good fingering project, but I don't really wear them. So I'm really happy that but I need to finish it. So.
Well, and
that's why it's a bit.
Yeah, exactly, and you can wear it fairly soon because the weather's warming up.
It's still pretty lightweight, so it'll be good for hot days. But
and wool breathes. Wool does breathe. Yes, definitely. All right.
Those are
your whips at the
moment. So,
yeah. All right.
Last thing is my crochet project, which I am almost done. So I've been working on Through the Clouds by Rachy Newin. As you know, she's a local designer. She was supposed to have a workshop on this shawl, but it was, for now, postponed indefinitely until we're allowed to be in our store again, because it really is something, a lot of instruction. And that's something that we're going to try to figure out over the next few weeks, is how to be a good instructor virtually. right? I mean, I think there's a lot of YouTubes and recorded instructional content, and we can do that. We can do some of that. We can record tutorials, but it's not the same as having somebody coach you through something, which is one thing that I think is a real benefit of live lessons. So I have some of the tools to do that kind of, one-on-one help, but right now we can't take somebody's project and help fix it for you. That is a real limit of this. So anyway, we'll be working through that, but suffice to say that even though we didn't have the workshop, I've been working on Through the Clouds. So here it is. Yay. So it's a triangle shawl. It starts here in the center. And that's one reason it works so great in a workshop, because if you get through like these first few rows, right, it's the same pattern. This is a great, finish a simple project. I want to do maybe the next step, or I want to read a pattern for the first time project. And let me show you the pattern on like the fabric this makes too, because I think it's really lovely. Right? It looks almost woven. That's one thing that struck me like the first time I saw this, and I've been really wanting to do it for a while, because it does like create like almost a woven fabric. So the original pattern is in fingering, and used all oink yarn. If you remember, we had oink come for a trunk show. Oink pigments came in January, and I actually got some oink pigments to do my Through the Clouds. Ooh, I barely have any left. Like that's all I have left of 2 balls. So yeah, I'm almost done with this shawl by virtue of almost running out of yarn. And I am going to finish when I run out of yarn. So yeah, this is all I have left of the oink. And then I added 2 DKs that we have in the shop that I really like. This one is the Tosh DK. That's all I have left of the Tosh DK. I'm working with these 2 right now. And then I'm using Spun Right Round in their Quake color, which if you remember, I'm also using in my sweater. It's a really great tonal dark gray. Love it. Or it's not tonal. It is variegated, but it's like light gray, dark gray, and rust variegated. So, thank you. I'm saying thank you to my camera for focusing on my face. Instead of, I don't know what, my wallpaper. So that is Through the Clouds. Like I said, next time I should have a finished project for you. I've been doing really good. I've been crocheting on the weekends. That's my goal, is to crochet on the weekends. Now, my next crochet project will probably be a big blanket. So, which we'll have as a knit along. Since it's sort of hard to pick colors, we'll probably put together some kits, but we got a brand new DK yarn that's coming, and it's being shipped to our houses. So we'll be able to ship packages. Yeah, we can ship. You can just email either hello@Shop Yarnia, or shop on our online site, which is in a stage of development. I know, it's been a while. But I have taken probably 800 pictures over the past 2 weeks, and I am getting them to our developer so that we can get those pictures up for you and you can see them better online. But if there's something that I talk about that you don't see, let me know and I can always send you a picture.
Classes, we had to put a bunch of our classes on hold, but we are still looking at what hopefully our summer sweater class will be. Hopefully we'll still be able to hold that, and I think it's going to be Mariechen by Isabell Kramer, which I think I mentioned on a previous podcast, but I don't remember. Anyway, yeah.
With that in mind, yeah, putting together kits. So we'll be starting a crochet along blanket with Hooked on Sunshine's blankets, and I haven't picked which one yet. So if you have a Hooked on Sunshine pattern that you've been looking to start, why don't you tell me about it down below. Let's see. I really love the Phoenix, which one of our customers, Sarah, crocheted using the Bold yarn, and it was literally so spectacular, like amazing. I'll put a picture of it here. Sarah did an incredible job. And I remember her last summer. She actually worked along with the Hooked on Sunshine crochet along, like as it was going. And I remember her coming in after she ran out of some colors saying, I need some more of this, I need some more of that. But it's a spectacular blanket, and I'm so inspired. I want to crochet a DK weight blanket, so maybe something not quite as heavy as a worsted weight blanket. So in DK, Sugarbush has Crisp is their DK weight yarn that is super similar to Bold, which is one of our favorites at Yarnia. So we're getting several colors of Crisp in, and we'll be putting those together in some kits for a Hooked on Sunshine blanket. So that crochet along will be coming up soon. So if you find yourself in a shelter in place and you're a little bit stir crazy and want something to do, you can join our crochet along. Also, because I can't say no to a good knit along, we ordered a very limited number of kits for the Rowan Elder Throw, which if you've seen it online, and I'll put a picture here. It's a DK weight blanket in felted tweed. Those haven't come yet. We are getting those in probably toward the middle of next week. But the first clue for the Elder Throw starts on April 5th. So we will have enough for maybe 3 folks who want to participate in that knit along. And that knit along starts April 5th and goes to July. Rowan is running that. But the blanket is spectacular. I love it, and I'm going to knit along with you guys because I really love that blanket, and I've got to have it. Although I don't know if I can keep up. We'll see. And let's see. So those are knit alongs or crochet alongs that are coming up, but haven't started yet, and kits will be available soon to ship because we are definitely still shipping.
Sure. And actually, before we tell you about what's new in store, let me tell you a little bit about what we're doing. Beginning Saturday, March, not 13th, must be the 21st. Governor Phil Murphy asked all non-essential businesses, so not food delivery places, not doctor's office, not all the sort of things that we need to kind of keep ourselves going in a crisis situation, to close their businesses, just to cut down on the number of people out and about. And of course, Yarnia did follow that protocol. We are primarily shipping right now. Our online store is open, www.shopyarnia.com. I don't know why it's so hard to say that.
Because it's more syllables than the letter.
Exactly.
Yeah. Than the word. Mm-hmm. Like World Wide Web takes less syllables to say than www.
True, yeah.
The more you know.
Mm-hmm. Amanda's usually the one that says that. So anyway, we are, we've got stuff available online. We also are happy to take your phone calls. I've got the store phone at my house. I'm manning the store phone for both, voicemails and texts. Amanda is manning the email, and we are shipping things to people. And if you're super local, we're doing delivery. So we have, ordered a bunch of things, as we mentioned, and some of those have started to arrive, and some of them, what we're going to talk about today are some of our favorites from Cocoa Knits. Whenever we get things in from Cocoa Knits, they tend to move really quickly. So actually, Haley, do you want to show the flight of stitch markers? We got, I don't know, a few dozen of these in, or however many we got. They are sets of 5 styles of stitch markers, and they sold out so quickly, not even all of our staff got them on the first go round. So we have restocked. I actually sold a set today to somebody who called with a phone order, and was looking for something that, would be good for her sweater, but also had...
this one's upside down,
sorry. Oh yeah, I think I might have fixed the other one. No, whatever, it doesn't matter. So there are the flights of stitch markers, and it's 120, I believe, stitch markers in there, and those are $24. Yeah, it has a picture on the back of all the different styles. The large fixed ring, the medium fixed ring, the small fixed ring, the triangle, which is really good. They don't poke through lace, and then the split ring. Yeah.
I didn't know that's why.
Yeah, that's quirky. What. Yeah, they're that too, but they do have a purpose. So those are back in stock. And another thing that we restocked, I'm wearing an example. This is my own. The Maker's Keep. Yep. And well, that goes with it. So we have them in Robin's Egg Blue, orange. Taupe, and of course, and the one I'm wearing, orange.
This I like that one.
They're all cool. Cocoa Knits has a really nice palette.
Yeah, no, they all work really well together.
So one of the things you can do with these, can you get the stitch markers that are over there?
Oh, wait.
Yeah, let's do stitch markers. So when I have a project where I'm, I need to place a bunch of markers, and I was just talking to somebody about this the other day. If you've got, one of the, on my Magnolia. When I get to this point in my Magnolia, what I'm going to do is load up my Maker's Keep with a handful of stitch markers. They stick right on there. And then as I go through my, 16 stitches and I need to put another marker on, they're right there. It does really make them so handy. So that is one thing you can use them for. And Haley, if you want to...
Slap bracelets are back in style.
Exactly. It's the adult slap bracelet. The other key thing that you can use them for is your row counter. And I know a lot of people... this is a really good row counter. It works on here. I think some people also just do kind of keep it on its own. But it is magnetic and it sticks right onto the Maker's Keep. And so you just can keep it. I mean, if you're right-handed, you might want to wear it on your left hand so that it's not, that you can use your right hand to advance it. But one of the things that's so nice about it is that it does have a locking mechanism. So even if you put it in your bag, it's not going to get bumped and have you lose your row.
And it won't fall off on the train and lose.
That's right. However, I literally ordered a dozen of them at one point because at least once a week I'd lose one of my row counters. It would, when I was commuting to New York on New Jersey Transit, it would invariably fall up and roll down the train car, and I was not about to pick that up off that nasty train car floor. So,
and sometimes they just went into another dimension. So.
That's true. That's true. That sometimes happens. Oh, and look, Anna's back. Anna, do you want to be on TV? Do you want to be on the podcast?
You want to make an appearance?
Oh, she can watch herself on TV. I don't know if she'll actually see herself. This is Anna, who you've seen before wearing her Soldotna. She's our puppy. She's not really a puppy, but we call her a puppy. She's our good dog.
She probably thinks she is.
So, and if she hasn't been fed, she's probably going to be noisy very soon. So the last cool thing that we've gotten from Cocoa Knits, if I could hand these back to you, sweetie. Thank you. Is the blocking mat kit. Yay. So this is called the Knitter's Block. It is a fabulous kit. We ordered these because one of our customers said, hey, do you guys carry this? And we're like, no, we haven't, but absolutely we do stock Cocoa Knits and we'd love to try it.
Show the mats.
So yeah, so there are 18. It's funny, a lot of mats come in sets of 9. And I did wind up buying 2 sets of 9 of the ones that I originally got. But this comes with 18 right from the start. So this is going to be, enough space to block pretty much any project.
And they're a nice thickness. They're not like the thick of the ones.
It's actually, I hadn't thought about that, but I bet, in this space, you're storing 18 in the space
I feel like
is 9 of most.
Like baby ones.
Or I bet maybe 9, maybe 8. I don't know. It's about the same size as half of this would be for another set. Yeah. And then another thing that it comes with is the check your gauge cloth. It's got 1-inch squares on it, which is so nice if you're trying to get something to be a certain dimension. I've always got my measuring tape while I'm blocking things, but if you put this down on your blocking mats while you're blocking, it makes your life that much easier to keep your line straight, to pull things to a certain measurement, all of that.
Very helpful.
Yes, and then the last thing is a set of T-pins. And there's enough room. This comes with 40, and there's definitely enough room in here for additional ones if you have some from another set or just want to get some more. And then it actually comes in this carrying bag, which is really nice. It is water resistant. It's lined jute, which is really nice. Yes. So
what is jute?
Jute, it is a plant fiber.
It's vegan. I don't know if it's vegan.
Well, it's a plant fiber, so it probably is. So yeah, we'll have those available in store. And You can call us, you can email us, you can text us. They're not on the website yet, but Amanda is working hard on getting everything on our website. So who knows, by the time you see this, if you're not watching it this weekend, they may be up there. So
many of our suppliers have shut their warehouses because of the COVID-19 disease, for the safety of their workers. As much as super important as knitting is to us, it is considered non-essential during these times. So those warehouses for the for the safety of everybody have closed. So we're not able to get as yarn shipments as easily as we once did. And it depends on the company. Some are on a very limited warehouse staff, so things that I maybe used to be order on Monday and they'd come in by Friday. It might take 2 or 2.5, 3 weeks to get in now because they've got maybe 2 people running the whole warehouse instead of a team of 20, right? So everything just takes longer. Timelines are longer. We do have a lot of sweater and blanket quantities in the store, but it might not be in exactly the color or the yarn you're looking for. But Kathleen and I are manning the email account, and Kathleen has the phone, and I'm happy to, Zoom with anybody who wants to get a better idea of what we have. But anyway, new at my house anyway, let me just tell you this, because I also have new colors of, Nev and Zoe and Cumulus, which are cotton or cotton blend yarns, perfect for summer. And I have new colors of those, which I can show you next week. If you're curious and you're like, I want to start a summer top this week, or, they're great for almost anything. Let me know, I can send colors. But what I wanted to show you was a brand new yarn we've never had in the store before, which is Noro Tsubami. It's named after a little swallow that comes around the time that cherry trees blossom. Isn't that cute? So this is almost like Silk Garden, fiber-wise. Let's see. It says a US 4 or 6. It says worsted weight, but then the recommended needle size is a US 4 to 6, which is almost DK. So it's somewhere maybe a little bit lighter than Silk Garden. And the content is 50% silk, 25% wool, and 25% poly to give it a little bit more structure. But let me tell you, 25 or 200 grams per this big skein. They are $50 because they're 50% silk. But that's essentially two $25 skeins of a normal 100 gram size. So if you're looking for a shawl yarn, right, or a springtime top, these would be lovely. Let me just show you some of the colors. And I'm not going to pronounce them because I'll pronounce them wrong, because they've all got beautiful Japanese name colors, or color number 11, which is probably not helpful. Just tell me if you like one, describe what you like, and I'll find it for you and send you pictures so you can confirm. But here's one. And I'm showing you the tops or the bottoms because then you can see more of what all the colors are in the skein. See? They do that Noro thing of fading from one color to the other slowly. So those two. Let's see. This one is like more purples and maybe a little lime green with rust and gray. This one, oh, I like this one a lot. This is very Amanda colors, right? Pink with navies and purples. Oh, and there's like a little sea green in here too. A very little bit of lime green. And then this last one is, well, there's actually a couple more colors that I didn't have time to grab, but this one is like super fun, right? Look at all that. There's royal blue, there's teal, orange, pink, lime green, then the silvery grays, the neutrals that always set things off so nicely. So yeah, so that's one of the new spring yarns that we had that we wish that everybody could see in our store. But instead we're happy to at least be able to show you when you meet us here. And the very last thing I got, just an FYI, I talked about these before, but I did get some more Chiaogu needle sets. This is the complete set. No, it's not. This is the large set. So I got 3 different things. I got the complete set, which I have, which I use a lot, and I'm using it like on my Damejakka Loppa. That's all the way from 2 to 15. Then they have the small set, which is from 2 to 8, and the large set was from 9 to 15. And each of those, the small and the large, use different cord sizes. So, you know, in the complete set, you get both cord sizes plus all the needles. But we have these, so they're back in stock. That's a little FYI.
Yeah. Well, in the meantime, you know what I am going to do? I'm going to point out a couple of things in the background because I realized you can see that is my spinning wheel, which is the Sidekick. And I have many spinning projects that I need to, you know, finish. So there's one, because it's a great thing to do while you're watching TV. And then the bookcase behind me is my cookbook collection. I collect cookbooks in addition to many fiber things. There's also a Lego British bus. I am not the Lego person. That would be the 3 gentlemen I live with, my husband and 2 children. But below that, right there, is a Lazy Kate. So I have a Lazy Kate down here, and I have a Lazy Kate upstairs in my office.
But I think that's all I have for you. And I've been keeping my kids outside so that I could record. And now they're probably hungry for lunch. So I'm going to go. It was good to talk to you. I hope you're all staying safe. You're in good health and finding at least some comfort in your knitting. And take care, and I'll see you next time.
Yeah. So thank you so much for watching. It's been good to say hi to everyone. Glad we got to introduce Haley and let her show some of her stuff. And everybody, you know, keep up your social distancing, be well, and we will talk to you again soon. All right? Bye.
Next time. Bye.
Soon. All right. Bye. There's Leo. Here, you guys want to meet Leo? Leo is our kitty. Say hi, Leo. Look, now I'm the crazy cat lady. Look, say hello, pretty boy. Hello. You're such a good boy. Yeah, I know. I don't have food for you. So hopefully he won't. Thanks, cat butt. Hopefully he won't knock the computer that is propped up onto pillows over.
Hello, welcome to my crib.
Hello, and welcome to...
Wait, we're actually in the crib.
I know.
I didn't do that on purpose. I was just memeing.
Oh, and look who's here. You want to lift her up? Anna, who is mentioned sometimes on the podcast. She does want to be famous.
She's not very photogenic, but
she looks better on video than in camera photographs, I think. She's cute.